Hello, good evening, guys. Yeah, on a regular basis, thoughts keep popping into my head, because for every day, I keep thinking about what I'm doing. I keep thinking about the industry. I keep thinking about the people, and I keep coming up with new thoughts. And I believe that these thoughts are not just my thoughts, because I understand that even my mindset, even my thinking, my thought pattern is blessed. So some of the thoughts that come to me, they're not just personal, they are thoughts to help humanity, because I believe in that doctrine that everyone sent on an assignment gets what they need to execute their assignment. So when these thoughts comes to me, I think it's wise for me to think and share to my world. So I came up with this segment that I tag random thoughts with Osai Resumokaro. So it's not going to always be this structured. The way I want it to run is that whenever the thought just pop up, I'll just pause and play a short video concerning it. You know. So today I had this thought in my head. You can't really succeed without rebelling. I know with the definition we have about rebel, it connotes something totally negative. And I also have found out about myself that I always want to question the norm. I always want to question what society has decided as something is. I think that was why the very first topics I came up with when I started doing YouTube was start demystified. The idea behind that was to just take basic life concepts, break it down in understandable manners so that people can relate with it totally differently from the way the society has caused us to believe it is. So today I have started this. It's not going to be something that will happen every day, you know, but as it comes, as the thought comes, just like you always check my social media platforms, you see me take a quotation like that, I'll break it down just to help people get better understanding. So our minds can keep changing because what we hear every day, what we hear consistently, mold us and determines what happens in our lives. So this time around, we're going to be dealing with random thoughts with Osai Tresomokaro. So as the thought comes up, I'll just craft it like this and we'll have some time to talk about it. If you're yet to subscribe to this YouTube channel, it's something that you should do. I think by now it's something that you should have concluded that is a necessity. It is a necessity because great things are happening right here. You just want to be a part of the great thing happening right here. Today we're saying that you can't succeed without rebelling. I know for some of you who know me so well, you understand that I stay on the path of integrity. I stay on the path of righteousness. I stay on the path of doing the right thing at the right time, what we call total quality management. But when this thought came to me and I really accepted it, I believed it was something that we could talk about. So but before I go deep into it, part of the reason why I believe that I'm succeeding and the people I'm working with are also succeeding is because I don't take things the way they are. I try to look beneath it. I try to think deeper beyond the surface level. And that is helping people I call the Treskaro tribe. So if you want to be a part of that Treskaro tribe, there's a link showing on your screen. Just follow that link. It will give you access to working with us so we can begin to think our mind and begin to achieve results at a totally different level. So let's dig into this. First, the word rebel as a noun is a person who resists order, rules, or norms, or somebody who rises against the powers that be. That is it as a noun. But the word rebel is also a verb. It's also a verb meaning to resist or to rise up against authority or tradition. Even the Bible says something. It said, you have made the word of God of no effect because of your tradition. Society has come up with a whole lot of things that are so normal that, in my opinion, if you practice those things to the latter, you will practically end up broke, poor, and busted. I think that's the notion behind this idea that you can't succeed without rebelling. So what I'm going to help us do tonight is to see how we can come to congruence with this idea. Because rebelling has a negative connotation, and if that connotation doesn't change within your mind, rebelling cannot help you. You may not even feel it is necessary. What does it mean to really rebel? Is to fight the status quo. Because until you rebel against the norm and the tide, you can never be exceptional. The word exceptional is actually being different from the norm, standing out different from the norm. But the world actually wants every one of us to act normally. It was Vucet and McGuire that used this word. He said the world is made up of normalized averages. When you think like the world, you do things like the world, you don't challenge the status quo. This as the standard, you just follow the standard. It is programmed to end you poor and dependent on the system. Everybody I have ever seen that is successful actually challenged the system. This is not a call to negative rebellion. This is a call to you challenging the governance of your decision, challenging the core decision-making apparatus that the world wants us to use to decide what happens in our life. What am I saying? You are the government of your life. Never allow what society has coined to guide you. I was in a conversation with a friend a few days back. Was talking about a job and all of that. He said, Tres, you happen to be one of those persons that is really driving me crazy. That sees something great and phenomenal in me that thinks I can step out of my 9 to 5 and focus on that thing. He said, there is hardly anybody I tell that I'm considering pulling out of my 9 to 5 that thinks is the right decision. That is it. You have got to decide whether to follow what people think is the right decision or to follow your heart. Because the world expects you to do things in a certain way. Once you do things in that certain way, you are a friend to the world. But the result of it is that you are also dependent on the system. Everyone who has succeeded stood out of the system, challenged the system, created something else, and the system had to embrace what they're doing. All over the world. It just got to Nigeria recently, and the organized financial sector is fighting the world of the cryptocurrencies. Particularly that we have a government that is always trying to copycat the world. Every other nation of the world have tried to fight it, but they quickly realized that this is not worth the fight. But some set of persons came up to challenge the world financial system by coming up with the cryptocurrencies. Let me tell you the truth. One of the reasons why I don't really fight against rebelling is the fact that everything we call revolution today is a rebel that ended positive. Because when you rebel against the system and you end up negative, you are called a rebel. But when you rebel against the system, you come up successful, that you now have to even create a standard that the system is trying to meet up with. You become a revolutionarist. So what are we talking about? You're going to decide to challenge the status quo. You are going to decide to challenge the status quo or embrace the status quo. Once you embrace the status quo, you are normal. And the truth is, the world never celebrates anybody that is normal. If we are all standing here and we are all black, there is no reason to be exceptional. But when one black person is standing in the midst of 100 white people, that person is exceptional just by reason of the color. That is what I am trying to at. Never try to be like every other person within your space. Nobody is celebrated. Nobody is celebrated for being like another person. We are only celebrated for the difference we bring to bear. We are only celebrated for the difference we bring to bear. Normal thinking can't win in an abnormal world. You have to be positively abnormal in the world that we're living in today. You know, I wasn't surprised that one of the questions that came to me when I was answering questions in February was the fact that why is it that righteous people, is it righteous people they use now, or good people are always broke? Because the way the world works, it makes it look like when you do good things, you can't make money. You can. That I don't accept. It is very possible and easier to make wealth following a positive pathway. But sometimes what the society calls good is, if care is not taken, for lack of a better word, is almost foolishness. It's almost foolishness to take things the way it is presented, never to question anything, just accept it because they have said it is, take it like that. That is foolishness. You know, and for us Africans, our parents will sponsor us to school. They didn't go through school. For some of them, they said, oh, my children must be educated. They sponsor you through school. You come back, and sometimes you still challenge their opinion, and they tell you, I gave birth to you. So why then did you send me to school? You know, I went through all of those processes to learn some new things so I can challenge what has been. You know, never think that for you to be appreciated, you have to follow the norm. You know, people will rebel against you, people will query you, people will advise you, people will cancel you when it looks as if you are standing against the norm, when it looks as if you are swimming with the tide, and not when it looks as if you're swimming against the tide, people are going to advise you. Nobody has ever done that. Why are you trying to be different? Why not just follow this easy path? But if you insist on going your way and you succeed, they will say he has always been different. For me, I believe that's a better commendation than you taking their advice, because sometimes our parents love us so much that they will pamper us to poverty. You know, I've never really said this in the public domain. I am one of 15 children from a polygamous home of about 5 wives. You know, amongst 15 children, I'm the number 7 in a numbering process. I'm the number 7 altogether. But I was the last that left my father's house. I have younger ones who stood up at some point in time and said, Osai, we remain here, we're all going to die broke. And they just left. Some just took their bag and left to Lagos. Some took their bag and just left to a different part of the city. You know, I can tell you the truth. After a while, they were succeeding even better than I, who sat in the house. Because my mom will always say, I'm not complaining that I cannot feed you. That was love, but that was misplaced. And God helped me. God helped me. I left my family out 4 months before marriage. And meanwhile, I have younger ones who left like 2, 3 years before I did. You know, because what happens is that when you push yourself to a world of responsibility, you break evil, you break through, and you find out a lot about yourself. I always say this: Part of the reason why young people seems to be succeeding abroad compared to the way we're doing in Africa is the fact that they have a system that tells you that as from age 18, you are responsible for your life. Meanwhile, for us in Africa, 30 years old, 35 years old, still living in the family house, coming and opening the mother's pot and eating. Ubon King will say one of the reasons why you are stranded is because of free food. But for those who stood up against the tide and took their things and said, if I perish, I perish, I'm off. Find out they never perish. They never perish. I'll be ending my thought with this. The world will know you and remember you for the problems you created or the ones you solved. The world will never remember you for doing what everybody is doing. Of course, you know my stance. So automatically, you know that you must create or solve a problem. You must create or solve a problem. That's your job. Creating or solving a problem is the job of rebels. Normal people live normal life. Normal people live normal life. But if you want to be abnormal, if you want to be rebellious, if you want to be successful, you have to step out of the norm and do that which only abnormal people do. Take risk. Take risk. I'm sure I've been able to shake some tables today. If you have listened to this and you think there's something here that strike a chord with you, you're welcome. You're welcome. Do well to share this video. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We need to be connected. We need to be connected. We need to remain connected. We need to remain as friends. Let's do this together again tomorrow at whatever time. Immediately it comes up. However, either be talking of this or something else. But the truth is, I'm committed to ensure that something drops for you to engage with here every day. Engage with this video, counter our viewpoints, make your opinions known, and we'll respond to you. Thank you for spending your time with us. Let's do this again tomorrow. Have a lovely night rest. Bye-bye.